All right, everybody, we're going to start again. Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. We are doing Input Junkie tonight, where we are going to interview filmmaker Chris Mock. Hi, Chris.
Hello. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Oh, man. You know what? Okay, so first of all, the documentary, this is one of the documentaries he's directed. It is The Walkers Among Us. We're going to do this again for the cameras. There we go. And for you guys, it is a documentary about the fandom around The Walking Dead. You've also made 2 Star Wars, right?
Yes.
And you have a third on the way. Am I
have
right?
a Star Wars reality show.
We'll get to that.
Working on.
I want to get to that. So we've got these Star Wars fandom films, The Force Among Us. Is that right?
Yes.
What's the second one called?
The Force Within Us, which within is kind of describes the documentary itself. It's a little deeper than the first one. You know, Among Us is kind of like a Hallmark card to Star Wars fans. And it didn't really feature any celebrities. And then The Force Within Us, which was released about 5.5 years later, it's more of my biopic.
Okay.
And I kind of interview a lot of different celebrities and a lot of different friends and family members on what Star Wars means to you.
Sure.
You know, and really go deep with it that way.
And then, well, we'll get to it. So there we are. Chris is a director, and we're gonna talk about a lot of things. I want to start by talking about Walking Dead, since it is the eve of Halloween here, and there's a lot of interest in Walking Dead. A little something happened this last week. We're not going to spoil it, but it seems like the internet has, 2 weeks ago, exploded with Star Wars. This week, it exploded with Walking Dead. I mean, literally.
To be a fan of both, it's kind of like Christmas time instead of Halloween right now.
It's a golden age, isn't it?
It is.
And then I'm a Marvel fan too. So, I mean, with comic books and that, this is the time. This is our time.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, you say you don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you haven't really watched the last episode of The Walking Dead.
Can you call yourself a fan?
By Friday, yeah. Can you, do you really care if we spoil it for you?
Well, you know what? Actually, you do, because a friend of ours doesn't have cable. We've run into a lot of people that don't have cable, so they wait until it's on Netflix. And then they watch it, and they're like, right. Everyone's telling me what happened. Which, okay, without saying anything, what we saw happen, I don't think happened.
You know what? I think it did happen. I'm going to come right out and say I hope it happened, because I think that's what makes The Walking Dead that kind of show, is you really see some things that you might think are going to happen, and they never do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you turn a left corner or a right corner, and you're like, oh, my God, I don't believe they did that.
I was convinced
they really
it happened.
crossed the line, and they really do the unthinkable. You know?
True. And I really did think it happened, but then on retrospect, sitting there thinking about it, I went, there are so many ways that this didn't happen.
That is true, yes.
And he wasn't on Talking Dead afterwards.
Yeah,
but you know what? Here's what else I'm going to say. Yes, you're right. Some people feel like it'll be a cheat if it didn't happen. I don't think so. I think if it's handled properly, it's going to be like, oh, and then when it happens, because it's going to happen,
right.
It's going to be like, not only do we get punched in the face, now they just pummeled our stomach, our back, everything when it finally happens, because it's going to be brutal.
You know, one of the things, too, is with this character that we haven't said what happened to him. Or
we'll call him Biff.
But I would say that, in the season finale of last season, we were kind of waiting for something to happen to somebody, and I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to be him too. So if it did happen, I wouldn't be surprised, because I saw it coming, last season and so on and so forth. But, whatever happens, I think it's cool, because it kind of left us hanging. And really, that's what. And
it's going to keep hanging, because we're going to have a flashback this week. The next week will probably be the other group.
It'll be like 3 weeks from now.
It's then we're finally going to see. Or can you imagine if they go all the way into the break? We don't know.
The mid-season break where there's like a month off.
Yeah. So, all right, Chris, let's talk about. Actually, before we talk about that, I want to talk about you. So, you're a documentarian. Is that primarily what you're doing?
I do. To sound a little bit like Tony Soprano, I do a lot of different things.
Okay, all right.
So, and all those things collectively give me the opportunity to make make films.
Sure.
This is our third documentary. Like I said, we're working on a Star Wars reality show. Me and Ian formed a company called Lust for Life Productions. Lust for Life is the Iggy Pop song.
I'm very well aware. Yes,
that's
and
what
I saw
was
at the
taken
end of the
from.
film you had your Lust for Life was on
Yeah,
there,
yeah. So we operate under Lust for Life. You know, the other two documentaries I made were Mock the Movie Productions.
Okay.
So me and Ian kind of formed a partnership, and I would like to make film all the time, but it's hard to, say no to the other work that is helping us do what we're doing now.
Sure.
Thing,
Sure. Well, and film is a big process, and you want to do it right. You want to take your time with it, and unless you're, Spielberg or Clint Eastwood,
yeah, exactly,
where you can take your time with it and do your thing, it's hard.
I think as an independent filmmaker, and I could probably speak for any filmmaker on any level, I think that you do have some time to work with, but at the same time, the longer you wait for something to happen, or the longer you keep putting it off, there's a good chance that it might end up on a shelf somewhere.
Right.
And that's why I release all our documentaries independently, because the film festival circuit is so political, I guess it's a word I want to use. And it's not on Netflix because Netflix wants to talk to a distribution company. And in reality, we are the distributor. You can go right to the website, thewalkersamongus.com.
Right. The indie guys end up signing a deal with the distributor they sign it away, basically, and that's how they end up getting on Netflix.
Yeah, and I don't mind signing it away. It's just I haven't really, put in that kind of legwork because it could be 3 years from now, and I just want to get it out.
Right. You want it out there, and strike while the iron's hot. Let people know that this is out there, and they're interested in Walking Dead. They're interesed in Star Wars.
And The Walking Dead is such a huge fan community-driven entity that. The way that it works is, we're all over Facebook, we're all over Twitter. We've been at Walker Stalker conventions. We filmed at the Walker Stalker convention. So there's a lot of people that know about us. However, there's always a large majority, like the people that haven't seen last episode of Walking Dead from last Sunday. They still don't know about us.
Right. Well, and that's why, with us, we're big fans. And I want people to know about what you guys do and about these movies, because they're great. They're fantastic. As a fan,
thank you for saying that.
As a fan, I feel really connected when I watch these.
And you know why? That is because fans made these documentaries.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was not a fan of The Walking Dead or Star Wars, I don't think anybody would feel that way. And that's what really drives the success of the independent films.
So you're not making a Full House documentary anytime soon?
No.
You're not like...
Believe it or not, there is a long list of documentaries that we want to shoot, but unfortunately, it's like there's only so little time. And real quick, the reality show that we're working on now. Yeah,
let's hear about this.
I don't think I'm ever going to do another reality style show again. I wanted to do something different than the documentary. I love Star Wars. It started kind of as a spoof of the Real Housewives franchise.
Okay.
And it's called The Real Fans of the Saga. And it really focuses on 5 friends, Star Wars fans that are friends from the Midwest.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the real fans of the Midwest fans of the saga kind of thing.
Okay.
And it just shows how Star Wars is really a fun, important part of our everyday life. And it follows us literally morning, noon, and night, and it's just, the thing is when you do a reality show, there's so much to shoot. With a documentary, you sit somebody down, you interview them, you follow them to a couple events, you collect the photos and the footage for B-roll of what they're talking about, and you're done.
Yeah.
Reality shows, a lot of people say it's trash TV, but I have a lot of respect for reality shows because it's so much work, and the crew should be really, really big, and it's but it's a lot of fun, and I wanted to focus on doing something that celebrated the new release of Star Wars coming out, not that what we're doing is dependent on that.
Now, what are you doing with this reality show?
It's probably going to go to a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And we're going to do a Kickstarter campaign, and we'll do the T-shirts and the patches and the posters and the stuff that everybody loves about the campaigns that we did for The Walkers Among Us and The Force Within Us. Between the two films, we raised close to $40,000.
Wow.
That funded. So not only am I a producer, but everybody that, contributed a lot of money.
They get producer credit,
and they really do, because producing is paying for a film,
right?
You know, and something like Kickstarter really lets the fans like yourself get involved and contribute, and they get their name on the DVD, you know.
So you did these as Kickstarters. That's how you raised the funds for them?
Yeah, my first one, no, I did not. I spent like $30,000 of my own money, and it took about 5 years to make that money back.
Sure.
And, you know, by the time I made the second film, a friend of mine that wrote a Star Wars location book, who's in the film, The Force Within Us, he told me, he said, if you don't do Kickstarter, you're leaving money on the table. And I tell you, Kickstarter would be good for anybody that's doing something creatively. And it's probably the best thing that I ever been a part of, as far as that's been the most fun making the documentaries, is putting a campaign out there and seeing all these fans.
Right. It puts fuel, not only financial fuel, but emotional fuel behind
it really does. Because you're like, wow, you know, there's 300 to 400 people that really want to see this thing done.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing is that you have a commitment to get it done.
Right.
And the fact that we've already done 2 and we've gotten them out, when we go to a third campaign, they'll be like, hey, this guy's
the people that donated before are probably going, you know what? He came through. He did what he said.
Yeah,
I liked it because they are good. So it's not like, you know, it turned out not so great.
Right.
Like a lot of video games kickstart, and they either never get out of the gate.
No, it's just coming 5 years from now.
Yeah, right. Or they're awful. I was listening to a show where they were talking. They talked up this Kickstarter for 2 years about how great it was. And like, we all did it. And it's coming out. And then it came out and it was garbage. And it's like, would you ever get behind that again? No. But in your case, the passion is there. The fans are there. Of course. I mean, it just builds on itself.
The quality's there with the filmmaking.
Yeah, we're actually going to be, at some point soon here, doing a Kickstarter to get an app for our network.
Yeah, that would be, I think that would be huge. Yeah, it makes total sense.
You know, and that way everything's in one place, and we're appealing to our fans. So hopefully all 3 of them are going to kick in. And all 3 of them. Nobody laughed.
I thought you said 3 as in 3 million. That's, you know, and you have 3 million listeners, and everybody donates $1, then you're in good shape. You know,
it's like that thing. You remember that well, I don't know if you remember. When we were kids, there was one of those urban legends that went around that somebody wrote into like Dear Abby and said, "I'm going to college and I can't afford it. If you could just send $1," and they got like, you know, $4 million or something. And it's like, that is not true.
Yeah, it's urban legend.
But it was out there. So, okay, the Star Wars reality show, when is that going to come out? And do you have a name you can reveal?
Well, the name is The Real Fans of the Saga.
Oh, that is the name.
That's the name. We are filming now. We've been filming since January this year.
Oh, wow.
We should have they're going to be like 15-minute webisode.
Yep.
Webisode style, and I think we're hoping to release it in December at least start. And the trick is, once you release it, you got to make sure that you follow up and you release it weekly or bi-weekly or whatever.
Yes,
you know,
you got to be on time. Now, have you ever done YouTube before?
You know, if I've done YouTube, it's only gotten like 5,000 hits, and it's taken. It's taken like 7 years to do that. No, maybe 9. I think The Force Among Us has some YouTube clips up there that we put up in Halloween time in 2006, actually. And I think that's not even up to 10,000 hits.
Sure.
You know, but if you can get the big hits, man, that's when you start getting a check in the mail, you know?
That's right.
So I don't know. Again, we're going to rely on the Kickstarter thing and have it funded that way, and then it'll take off. Cool. Hopefully it'll take off from there, you know.
Now, did you go to school for filmmaking, or was it just like you got?
I actually went to school for music business.
Oh, really?
I went to the music business program at Columbia College in Chicago, not the Columbia College in New York. And,
okay.
That's the joke we always tell, you know, all the graduates from Columbia College. And I learned so much in the music business before I went to school, and I stayed there for so long that by the time I made my first film in 2006, 2007, there's not really a big difference between both industries.
Right.
You know, I think even with the way that music is, you don't make money on CD sales anymore. It's all DVDs.
Yeah, you got to tour to make any money.
Yeah, you got to tour to make money. And I think, you know, with the documentaries, it's Kickstarter helps. and also making it available for download.
Yep.
Give a cheaper medium for people, so they don't want to spend the $20 on a DVD.
Right.
You know, but now I'm out of the music business, but I never left permanently. It just kind of I shifted. You know?
Sure.
I mean, if I get calls that come my way to bring me back into that industry, I will be there. But
well, it's all creative, so I mean, it's all
it's all the same stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's instead of setting up drums and guitar, you're setting up lights and cameras. You know,
right? Yeah,
it's really the same thing. You know, there's sound, the element of sound is there, and it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
I do love the film industry a lot more than the music business.
Really?
Actually, yeah. I think.
So, what is it about the film industry? I mean, what drives you to that?
I think the film industry is, okay, if you're in a local band that doesn't tour, you're only going to have 100 people come and see you.
Right.
But if you have a DVD out, you can virtually get that around the world, you know? So it's more of a global thing. And, making fan-based documentaries, hearing what you said, I've heard that 1,000,001 times, and that's why I do what we do, is you feel a connection to this.
Right.
You feel a connection to the documentaries. And I think, musically, I didn't feel connected to people. You perform for people, or you put a show on for people. It's different in the end. The end result is different.
Yeah. I totally get that. I even find that with us with podcasting. When we do the live things, it's very different than we do them from home. And you think that there's more connection with the live. And yeah, we're getting, we get along, we have fun here. But I get more response, more writing from all over the world from our podcasts that we do from home.
Yeah,
there's an interaction there that's really different.
Cool. Yeah, it is.
And not that I would give up the live thing. We love it. But I got to say, we do love. All right, no, we don't love it. Could Boy Edward maybe put that up? Either that or the Edward puppet is coming out and it has nasty things to say tonight. You haven't seen the Edward puppet.
No. I would like to, though.
He's here. Can you do it? Technical problems. We'll edit that out in post.
That is a minor technical problem right there. We can live with that.
Yeah, right. So, how did you hook up with Ian? Did you meet him at Columbia, or was it just like...
me and Ian met in first grade.
First grade?
Me and Ian met in first grade. We went to elementary school together, junior high together, and then we lost touch because he moved away when he was in high school, so we didn't go to the same high school together. We ended up bumping into each other at a couple of the mosh pits. Alice in Chains concert in like '92 at the
down Vic. At the Metro or the Vic, yeah.
And we bumped into each other at the Metro, and then we lost touch again. And oddly enough, he came to one of my concerts that I was the talent buyer for, and my band was playing that night in 2010. And he was really drunk, really wasted, and I'm like,
way to throw him under the bus, Chris.
I'm like, nothing has changed with him. And then he came to see my last show, which was 2 years later.
Okay.
And, mind you, it was like 17 years have gone by. And then I saw him for one night, and then 2 years went by. And I was really, really ready to make my second documentary. And he's, he hung out. He was very sober that night.
Okay.
He hung out backstage. We were talking. He was working for a company that owned all their in-house stuff. They filmed Lollapalooza, Coachella. They filmed stuff for the Stanley Cup. I mean, he was with a company that was well connected and had the right gear. And he said, "You know what? I'll help you make your second documentary." And from there, our relationship was kind of renewed and rekindled. And that was one of the coolest things about making the second film was, getting to know him all over again. Getting your friend back that way,
we have a similar story. I won't go into the whole long thing, but on Enough Said, my friend Jack, who I was very close friends with all the way up through college, and then we moved away. He went to Texas, like same kind of story. And he came over one night, and we were thinking about starting that. It was that our second show or third show for the network? And I was nervous about it. I hadn't seen him in so long, and I'm like, I'm going to ask him to do some music for it. And I mean, it's so funny because I was like, we're going to do this. I was wondering, and he goes, "Yes, I'll be on the show." And you know what? We talk every week now. I have my dearest friend back, and it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
very
like
similar.
But it's the fuel, man. It's what makes it keep going and working. And
well, it's kind of, just in life in general, it's about one of my favorite movies is The Butterfly Effect. And it's like literally one person can make a huge difference.
I hope you didn't say Butterfly Effect 2, because that was
no, I didn't watch that one.
Awful.
I didn't watch. My wife even actually watched Butterfly 3. There was a third one. I believe so. Yeah. And the first one was just amazing, and it was kind of like Back to the Future on a deeper, more philosophical level.
It looked like it was going to be a crappy B movie, and it turned out to be really fun. Really
I think that's why it turned out so good. The expectations were so
Wasn't
low.
Ethan Suplee in that? Wasn't he the roommate? Because he was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was. Everybody was good in there.
We were talking about sequels last night. You ever see Stir of Echoes?
I have not.
Kevin Bacon film? No. Check it out. Great film. There's a sequel to that we didn't even know about. Last night we were podcasting about it, and Alil brought that up, and he's like, I don't know, man. It's Rob Lowe, and nobody saw it. It might be terrible. I'm going to watch it. It'll be terrible, but I'll watch it. You know what? I'll support him.
But if there's no expectation, then it's like, wow, that movie was really good.
No, not always.
I think that's
Bride of Reanimator. There was no expectation, and the expectation was met. It was terrible.
I think that's maybe why Fear of the Walking Dead might have disappointed some people.
How did you feel about it?
I liked it, but to tell you the truth, I have not really seen. I did not watch all the episodes. I'm a huge baseball guy, and now that baseball's
apparently, I'm friends with you on Facebook. I've seen a few pictures.
Now that baseball is coming to an end, I can go back and watch all the shows that I kind of put on hold for a while.
Sure.
But I heard all this, all these complaints about, it's not the same. It's not supposed to be the same.
It's a different show.
Kirkman said it's not supposed to be the same.
Same universe,
different
show.
In fact, I think it's more scarier because The Walking Dead is now like superheroes living in the zombie apocalypse.
Right. These are real people, and the zombies aren't decaying yet.
Yeah. So I think the first, the fear, the prequel, if you will, the Fear of the Walking Dead, I think is scarier. And I'm staying away from all the hoopla, and I'm doing a really good job of episode 7 of Star Wars because I was so wrapped up in the prequel hype. And I do love the prequels. A lot of people hate them. I love them.
We're not even going to talk about episode 1.
We'll save that for another show.
Yeah. He'll be back. We'll talk Star Wars. We're not talking about that right now.
Talking about hype, I'm going into episode 7 not knowing much at all. And I want to keep it that way.
Keep it pure.
Because I want to be more excited about it when I see it.
Right.
Somebody posted online the back of the CD cover, because somebody that he knows works in the industry, and I'm like, why would you expose the names of the songs? You're gonna.
I know. You know what? I avoided reading it. I saw the title, and I immediately went, "Nope, I'm not reading this," because it does clue you in.
Well, episode 1, I'm a huge music fan as well, and I bought John Williams' episode 1 soundtrack, which was amazing.
Oh,
and one of the titles was Qui-Gon's death, and it's like, oh,
yeah, you knew it immediately. Yeah. Yeah, they just released
a
vinyl box set of all 6 soundtracks.
Oh,
I know it. It's gorgeous, beautiful set. It's all vinyl. All right. Before I ask any more questions, do we have questions for Chris out here? Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. Nobody? All right.
Might have some questions online. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Usually that's kind of sketchy. Have there been any questions online, guys? Our crew is amazing, aren't they?
They are on top of it.
They are amazing. You know what? If you could hear what's in their headphones right now, it sounds like this. Anything online, William? Jacob's a hipster. Anything? Nothing? Okay. So you never know,
That's all right.
You never know. And then sometimes we'll end and it'll be like 600 things. We're like, where did that come from? I don't know. So what time are we at, by the way? I don't have any visual timer. I have 3 minutes left. Oh, well. We got 3 minutes, so let's. Yeah, we got another show coming up. Well, we don't have to do. Oh, jeez. Look at that. Are you like that on your sets?
Our sets
do you have
vary.
like a stage manager that's like cracking the whip on you?
Me.
Okay, it's you. Do you use Evernote by chance? I'm just asking.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I'll be honest with that. I'm not even familiar with that.
No.
That doesn't mean anything.
No. Right.
I would say that if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, and if you do like, if you like documentaries, even if you don't like documentaries, the cool thing about The Walkers Among Us that I would think as a fan watching it is we filmed a lot on location down in Atlanta.
Yeah, you did.
And we interviewed a lot of people that were gracious enough to give us time of day to interview them. Actors that were on the show.
Yeah.
Cast and crew that worked on it. And, you get a lot of that when you go to Walker Stalker Con, which is where a lot of the Walking Dead fans are this weekend.
A lot of exposure to the people involved in the show. Lots of, because I see it because we've got a Walking Dead podcast, and it's amazing. It's one of the most amazing fan communities I've ever seen. And the way the actors, the showrunners, they know the names of people. They're just involved.
Yeah, they're very
That's crazy.
It's really, really cool, and that shines through in the documentary. And if you don't get a chance to go to Atlanta, don't get a chance to go to Walker Stalker, or even talk to the celebrities that have been on the show, the documentary is really, really a cool vehicle for that. And the bonus features on it, we do a lot of Night of the Living Dead stuff on there.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of, Robert Kirkman had said Romero is really, The Walking Dead would not exist if it wasn't for George Romero.
Right.
And what he did back in the day. And we talk a lot about that on the bonus features. And there's a cool thing on there where we tour Morgan's apartment. And we go through there with the mayor at the time. He's the former mayor of the town now. But there's a lot of really, really fun things
You're
on
talking
there.
the apartment from the beginning, or the apartment where he's all barricaded in?
Yeah, the apartment where he goes crazy and he writes on the wall. And it's so we take you on a personal tour on the bonus features.
Did you hear about that thing you can pay to spend a night in Alexandria?
I did, yes. Yeah, just recently.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we actually filmed outside Alexandria, and people can get the DVD on thewalkersamongus.com. They can get the Star Wars ones on theforceamongus.com.
Okay.
And we also have streaming as well. You can buy the streaming versions, the downloadable versions from the website there as well.
And that's where they find them, is at your website.
Yes, that's where.
Walkersamongus.com, forceamongus.com.
You can get the Force Among Us on eBay for $100, but that's not me selling it.
Okay.
You can still get it on our website.
That's Ian. He's got to pay for all that
yeah,
booze.
that's Ian. That's Ian doing that without my consent there.
Right.
So that is where they can get the.
And where else can they follow you? What's all your social media stuff?
Social media is the
Facebook.
Facebook, The Force Among Us, The Walkers Among Us, and also Twitter. Same names on Twitter.
Okay. And do you do personal or anything? Do they follow Chris Mocht on there? Or is
Chris Mocht. It's CRIS and it's MACHT.
At Chris Mocht, is
yeah,
that what it is?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
When we do
Chris
the
Mocht.
show notes for this, for like YouTube and for the podcast, I'll make sure I tag all that stuff. So anyone that wants to follow you will be able to find it.
That would be cool.
And we'll definitely put links for people to buy stuff too, because I encourage everybody here, everybody at home to pay for these downloads and see these movies. I'm telling you, I saw the one in the theater. I saw Walkers Among Us, and I walked out of there, first of all, with tears. I mean, it's the most touching thing, man.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And second of all, it made me want to watch the show so badly.
That's cool. That's really, really. That's probably the biggest compliment. And I never brought anybody to tears making music. So it's really cool that I could do that.
You totally
with
did,
film,
man. And then it got worse when you told me the story about the guy that died afterwards. That was afterwards.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, it wasn't you, I think. I think it was Megan told us that story.
Megan told you, right. Yeah, there's a guy that's in the documentary that actually died like a couple days before the premiere.
Brutal.
It was pretty crazy.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you again.
Hey, thank you, man.
It was wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear it for Chris. Walkers Among Us, Force Among Us. Definitely pick it up. And Chris, I want to invite you back. I don't know if you can make it for the next one, but January 12th, we're doing a Star Wars night. Even if you can't be here, we'll show Force Among Us before we start.
I will be here for that.
Excellent.
January 12th.
Chris will be back. Is Ian going to be here? Speak for him.
Ian is never with me on these things.
All right.
We do, these promo things. I don't know why.
I'll harass him.
Hey, you can do
All right.
that, right?
All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right,
Thank you again.
Thanks again, man.
Thank you, everybody. That was it for this show. We will be back in a couple minutes with This Week in Geek.